Hey folks, how's it going? I'm going to try to make this a quick video. It's getting late, it's already getting dark thanks to the time change. But this video is going to be about unemployment and layoffs. I've been talking about this every now and then, about how layoffs are continuing. They're not being covered, but they are continuing and they're going to get worse. I've got a couple of articles here. This first one is basically a 2023 layoff tracker from Forbes.com. This is like a 21-page article. I'm not going to cover the whole thing, obviously, because it's way too long. But I am going to go back to about September 22nd of this year, where it picks up at the Federal Reserve's round of layoffs. They were going to lay off roughly 1% of their 24,500 employees, so 245 people thereabouts. September 27th, St. Louis-based healthcare giant Centene confirmed a round of cuts which will affect roughly 2,000 employees, or 3% of its workforce. September 27th, also, Snap announced plans to slash roughly 170 employees as it makes cuts to its AR enterprise business, augmented reality. September 28th, Fortnite and Gears of War maker Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney announced in a staff memo that the North Carolina-based video game developer will slash 16% of its workforce, roughly 830 employees, saying the company has been spending way more money than we earn. September 28th, athletic wear giant Lululemon announced a round of cuts in an internal memo obtained by insiders stemming from the athletic apparel company's decision to stop selling its studio mirror 3 years after it purchased Mirror in a $500 million deal. Okay. Give me 1 second. I got these out of order here. Sorry about that, folks. All right. October 2nd, Wells Fargo will lay off, or October 2nd, Wells Fargo announced layoffs of 525 employees in Columbia, South Carolina, according to a worker adjustment and retraining notification, nearly 3 months after it cut another 100 employees in Florida. October 4th, layoffs at Utah and Seattle-based survey tool company Qualtrics, which has dual headquarters in Seattle and Provo, Utah, announced it would slash 15% of its workforce, or 780 employees, as a part of major restructuring. October 6th, cloud services company Juniper Networks cut its workforce by 440 jobs. October 6th, supply chain management company Flexport said they were looking to cut 30% of its workforce next month, according to a person familiar with layoffs who spoke with Wall Street Journal, marking a major reduction that would affect over just 1,000 of its 3,500 employees. October 10th, General Motors announced it cut 155 employees at facilities in Toledo, Ohio, Lansing, Michigan, Marion, Indiana, bringing its layoffs since the start of the UAW strike over 2,300 after the Big Three automaker cut 2,000 Kansas-based assembly plant employees just days into the UAW strike, plus more than 200 others in Ohio and Michigan. All right, so, October 10th, Washington Post announced cuts spread across all functions of the company, according to an internal memo that cites an urgent. Wait a minute. Nope, I've got these out of order again. I apologize, folks. It's hard to keep some of these straight. Yeah, I'm missing a page here. Okay, no, I jumped to the wrong page. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. All right. Yeah. I got this way out of order. I'm sorry. Washington Post. Cuts at Washington Post spread across all functions of the company. according to an internal memo that cites an urgent need to invest in our top growth priorities, following cuts at NPR, Vox, Vice Media, ESPN, and the Los Angeles Times. LinkedIn on October 16th cut 716 jobs. October 19th, Finnish communications giant Nokia. Layoffs are aimed at reducing its workforce from 86,000 employees globally to 7,200 and 7,700, representing an elimination of as many as 14,000 jobs. According to a company statement, Nokia employs roughly 10,500 people in North America, just over 12% of its workforce. October 19th, Stellantis, parent company of Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge, laid off 100 employees at facilities in Toledo, Ohio, following another round of cuts affecting 570 employees, primarily at Michigan engine plant, while metal facility Sodecia Automotive Detroit let go of 143 of its 232 employees due to reduced work from the strike. October 23rd, 2 rounds of layoffs at Ford affected 67 employees at a Michigan axle plant and another 364 at plants in Michigan and Ohio, bringing the automaker's total layoffs since the start of the strike to over 3,000, which it attributes to multiple constraints. October 25th, Amgen's layoffs will start at the end of December and target 350 employees working at Horizon Therapeutics, primarily affecting roles in which Amgen and Horizon overlapped. All right. November 2nd, Panera said it will cut 17% of its 1,800 corporate positions in an internal memo, telling Forbes the cuts are intended to better align the chain's support structure with our strategy. November 3rd, OpenSea, which reduced its headcount to 230 employees in July of 2022, plans to lay off half of its workforce, an estimated 115 employees, with an OpenSea spokesperson calling the cuts part of a significant organizational and operational change. You're going to see that a lot. Next up, but here's another one for you. This is a recent one that's not even on that list yet. Maersk is cutting at least 10,000 jobs as the shipping boom unravels. Shipping group AP Moller Maersk reported a steep drop in third quarter profit and revenue on Friday and said it would cut at least 10,000 jobs in the face of overcapacity, rising costs, weaker prices, sending its shares tumbling. Maersk, which controls about 1/6 of the global container trade, transporting goods for a host of major retailers and consumer goods companies such as Walmart and Nike, flagged a steeper downturn in demand than analysts and investors had expected. The new normal we are now headed into is one of more subdued macroeconomic outlook and thus soft volume demands for the coming years. Prices back in line with historical levels, inflationary pressures on our cost base, especially from energy costs, and also increased geopolitical uncertainty. Okay, that's going to be a long article also. All of these articles are going to be in the description below, but I just want to go on the record again as saying that these layoffs have continued all year long. They've not been covered because the administration is trying to give the appearance of an economy that's doing much better than what it actually is. So they're not talking about the layoffs that are happening. They're not talking about the layoffs that are coming, but they are continuing to happen. And while 115 employees might not sound like much, if the company's workforce is 230, that's half of their workforce. That adds up. If you talk about hundreds or even dozens of companies like that are laying off even half of their workforce, that adds up to a lot. So while it may not seem like a lot for a small company to lay off 100, 125 employees, it can have a bigger impact than what you might think. And when you start talking about companies like Maersk cutting 10,000 jobs, that's a major shipping company. And major shipping companies are getting hit hard right now. All of this takes a toll. It all adds up, and it's going to have an impact, a very significant impact on the economy. So you just understand this is continuing to happen. This is a trend that we will see continue to happen through the end of the year, well into next year, and I expect it will actually accelerate into the first and second quarter of next year. That's just my expectations, my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion right now. That's all I've got. That's what I wanted to cover tonight. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Understand what this means, though. These are ongoing signals of a major economic downturn. Whether you believe it's just a recession we're going to be going into, or whether we're already in a recession, which I believe, and going into a depression, again, which I believe we're already in the recession. I believe we're going into the depression, but potentially even in the depression already. It's just masked with manipulated numbers. Again, that's just my opinion, but understand that this is what's happening, whether you realize it or not, and you need to take steps to prepare for this. You need to be stacking food. You need to be paying down your debt. If we go into a Great Depression, another Great Depression, debt is one of the worst things that you can have on you. It will kill you. Possibly not literally, but that is a possibility as well. Think about how many people died, committed suicide off themselves during the Great Depression, simply because of the panic from the stock market crash. And we saw a big increase in that activity during the pandemic as well. So understand, if we do go into a deep recession or another Great Depression, that could happen again. And debt is one of the leading causes of something like that: job loss and debt. So take steps, folks, to protect yourself from those dangers, those risks. That's all I've got, though. Again, I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. As always, stay safe, take care, keep prepping, and until next time, folks, I'll catch you later.